Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Inside the Idaho Vandals. I'm Dennis Patchen. Thanks for being with us. We are joined by Athletic Director Rob Spear. Some big news this past week as a change has been made at the leadership of the football program. Rob, thanks for being here. Never easy as an athletic director to make a change. Tell me why you decided to end Rob Akey's tenure as the football coach.
Well, Dennis, you're right. It's never easy to make that decision. Very difficult decision. But it was really based on the on-field performance of the football team. You know, we've lost 17 of our last 20 football games. I thought it was time that we needed to make a change, so we moved in a new direction.
There's never a good time to let a coach go and make a change. Why in the middle of the season? Why not maybe wait till the end of the year?
I think it was important for us to get a head start on finding a new coach at the University of Idaho. We have a big recruiting season coming up. We want to be prepared. And I thought that if we we're going to make the change at the end of the year, why not make it earlier so we can give the new coach a chance to get started and hit the ground running. So that's why.
Do you expect to have a coach in place then before this season is over?
I wouldn't say before the season is over, but I think that we're going to have our pool narrowed down before the season is over, and we'll be able to announce a new head coach sooner than later. I don't want to put a time frame on it, but obviously it's important to get that announcement done shortly after the season is completed.
When you replace a coach mid-season, you have to worry about the program, the athletes, and who's going to lead that team for the rest of the season. You decided on Jason Gesser. Why Jason? Why was he the guy that's going to lead this for the rest of the season?
A couple reasons. I thought that we needed somebody at the coordinator level or above to do it. And I look at Jason, I think he's been an outstanding leader. He's demonstrated that as a player. He's demonstrated that as a young coach. I have a lot of confidence in him. I think he has the ability to ask questions and take advantage of the seasoned coaches around him, and those coaches are willing to step up and help him. So in my mind, it was the right choice to bring Jason on board.
Is he a candidate for the job next year?
Everybody's a candidate for the job right now.
Me? I'm a candidate for the job.
You can be, Dennis.
No. Okay, so in looking for a new coach, what are you looking for? Are you looking for head coaching experience? Are you looking for somebody from the BCS level? Do you want to, what are you looking for?
I want somebody that not necessarily has head coaching experience. I want somebody that's going to be an up-and-coming coach possibly. Could be somebody that's been a head coach. I want somebody that has come from a successful program that understands how to win, understand how to recruit, how important recruiting is at the University of Idaho. I want somebody that's really going to emphasize accountability and discipline inside and outside the program. And I want them to recruit good quality kids, good character kids.
How hard was it to tell Rob Akey he wasn't going to be the coach anymore?
It was difficult. It's always difficult. This isn't the first time I've had to do this in my career. It's never an easy job, and it's not about the person here. Rob Akey's a wonderful person. It's about the business side of things, and that's where it gets difficult at times. Never easy.
You also made an announcement in the last week. It's been a busy week for you, Rob. You're not getting much sleep, I wouldn't think.
No, we get them all out at once here. So
you're going to transition all the sports that are eligible to go from the WAC into the Big Sky in another season and a half. Mm-hmm. Tell me why the move away. Now, football is going to go independent, but tell me why taking basketballs and volleyball and the rest of the sports back to the Big Sky Conference.
Well, as we did our evaluation of where we want to be long term, I think it's important for us to be in a regional conference. And the direction the WAC was going, and I want to thank the WAC. They've been awesome. It's been a great conference to be part of. But we felt that we needed to be in a regional conference that was a competitive conference. So when we evaluated the Big Sky and the makeup of those schools, we really think it's going to be a more competitive conference than a rebuilt WAC. We also felt that it's important to take care of the student athlete, the welfare of the student athlete. And if you look at the WAC and the direction it's going, I think travel was going to become an issue quickly. Being in a regional conference and playing against schools that are close by is going to help travel. It's going to reduce missed class time. And then the final thing is we need to play those schools that we had great rivalries with. And I think that's going to excite our fan base and get them into the dome and have a great time. And so that's why when we looked at the Big Sky as an option, and the Big Sky is a Division I conference in every sport but football. A lot of people have the perception that we are transitioning backwards. Not the case. Actually, from a competitive standpoint and doing the right thing for the University of Idaho, I think we're taking a big step forward.
I know this is not a decision that you woke up on Wednesday and made it on Thursday. You've looked into this a lot. What kind of feedback did you get from boosters? Did you get from alumni? Did you get from the president on transitioning all the sports but football back into the Big Sky?
Well, everybody's had an opinion on this situation, as you can imagine. It's all over the board. I think there was a lot of interest in us moving back. I don't want to say back, moving to the Big Sky, because it's not back. A lot of interest. The coaches, you didn't ask about the coaches. All of our coaches unanimously felt that going into the Big Sky was a right move at the right time for this program.
Is this, I mean, you talked about cost saving. Is this going to be a significant savings because you're going to cut down on travel? Because, I mean, people think, oh, well, the basketball team travels, but you've got volleyball, you've got soccer, you've got, I mean, you've got all of those. You've got golf, track. I mean, when you're loading up people and sending them to Louisiana or I mean, you know, all the other places that you go to, that's a significant savings, I would think.
Well, it is. You look at it, the Western Athletic Conference right now, everywhere we go is an airplane trip. When we get back into the Big Sky, I think you're looking at a bus trip to Eastern, a bus trip to Portland, a bus trip to Montana, maybe Montana State if you get it in the same swing. So there's a lot of efficiencies to be gained.
Where's football going? I'm sure that's the question that everybody's asking you now that you have home in the Big Sky Conference for the rest. What's happening with football?
Well, as you know, last week we announced our independent schedule for 2013. We feel that we've invested 16 years in being an FBS football program. We're one of 124 institutions that play at that level. We sought and received permission from the State Board of Education to pursue an independent schedule. We were able to get that done, and in a short amount of time. It was a real difficult challenge to get it to balance out from a competitive standpoint and from a financial standpoint. I think a lot of people felt that we're going to be playing 6 BCS schools. Not the case. But we're going to stay committed here for the short term because we think there's going to be additional conference realignment. And hopefully at some point in time, Dennis, I would like to see a conference out west elevate themselves up to play in the Football Bowl subdivision.
How long can you stay independent in your master plan? Have you given yourself a timetable on how long you can do that?
Well, we've thrown out the 2-year period. That's where we think with the new BCS agreement, whatever they're going to call it, with the new 14 playoff, that's going to dictate some change, and that's going to go into effect in 2 years. So we're thinking the 2-year period, and then we'll reevaluate. Well, we need to be in a football conference sooner than later. But in the short term, that independent schedule does give you a lot of flexibility to schedule games. I mean, we are not locked into 8 teams every year that we have to play, and then sometimes, you know, in a WAC that was in its heyday, we are playing a heavy load schedule with Boise, Hawaii, Fresno, Nevada. We're not having to play those schools anymore. Now we'd like to play them every now and then again in a non-conference situation, but I think it gives us a lot of flexibility to do an independent schedule. So, you know, we're going to stay the course for the short term, but it's important that we do get in a conference.
Thanks for the time. We appreciate it. I know it's been an interesting week for you, and hopefully things will settle down a little bit more next week.
Thanks, Dennis.
Athletic Director Rob Spear joining us here on Inside the Vandals. When we come back, it's that time of the year. The basketball is out. The pumpkin is rolling around the court, and we'll hear from Don Verlin next about the Idaho men's team when Inside the Idaho Vandals continues.